touch.
So Katha, we talk to each other all the time, but we can close it up. But do you have any more thoughts or any reflections?
That's you know, about it. I would think though, for, you know, you guys are talking about parking day and placemaking, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to be able to utilize some of these, because we got, you know, with the county, when they offer that money, COVID monies to nonprofits that wanted to do something to help, you know, we were able to get 2 walking paths in for Pontiac. So
yeah,
I'm excited because I'm sure that we're going to have opportunities to come in and talk about recovery. I like, you know, I wanted to ask Rosemary about the potential for what they're going to do with this money, but she did let us know that the county is getting $250 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And this is never going to happen again. So if we're going to get our act together, now would be a good time to do it. Now would be a good time to do it, because we do need to recover as a community. Outdoor spaces, we know, play a tremendous part in mental health and keeping people grounded. And we have got to expand outdoor spaces in the city of Pontiac. And, you know, looking at how downtown can be used as an outdoor space to allow for physical, for recovery from this pandemic. And so there's a case to be made. You know, I wouldn't hesitate to write a grant to put a fountain, because water is soothing.
Yeah.
Water is soothing. There are health reasons, you know, water is soothing. And then, you know, with global warming, our summers are hotter and you need trees. We don't have a lot of trees in downtown. There's not a lot of trees around the Phoenix Center. Trees have been found.
It's a cement block.
It's a heat desert.
Yeah, trees, you need greenery. You need greenery. Those kinds of things can be written up as recovery.
Right.
As you know, physical recovery from the pandemic.
From burying our river.
Yeah.
We buried our river.
So we are going to, well, yeah, you know, we're not going to try to reinvent that, but I think.
No, but we can use that as a metaphor. In other words, what we're doing is addressing the metaphor that the river represented.
Just water in general.
When you start talking about water and trees.
Yeah, but like she was saying, we have got to, how we word what we ask for. Sure. We have got to use the terminology that's going to get the monies that we need. And that terminology has to stay with the idea of recovery, of giving, putting in place in Pontiac places where people can recover mentally, can recover, you know.
Sure.
Where they're, so we want to keep it in terms of mental health, of health and wellness, physical activity, that kind of thing.
Sure.
You know, so you got to stick with that.
Successful grant writing. So yeah, I understand.
Say it exactly again,
92% rate of successful grant writing.
Jim's very proud of his success rate for grant writing.
Well, because is exactly what Kath is making us aware of. It has to come from the people that the grant is going to benefit, not from an administrative proposition or some administrative execution. Mm-hmm. The best grants are written by the individuals who have a passion for the reason and rationale for a grant in the first place. Mm-hmm. But a lot of that gets subverted because it becomes something that it wasn't. It becomes about the money as opposed to about what you're going to use it for.
Well, you have to know how how to word it,
story.
shape it, you know, and I can write, you know, with the grant that we wrote for the county. I knew, you know, I had the vision, I knew what we wanted and what I felt could be
There you go.
that would help us to recover.
Yeah, there you go.
But my daughter, you know, she is just she's a grant writer. She has and so she went in there, and I'm telling you, she only had 15 minutes. She'd worked all day long, and she got on that grant, is electronic, probably 15 minutes. And within that time, she was able to kind of reword some of the things that I wrote and put them within the context of how they talk in these grants. I don't know.
Context is everything.
And I mean, she moved that context and this and that. The same thing I said now, but different wording. And I read it, Jim, I didn't even recognize my own.
Yeah, exactly.
It was, you know, but it put us over because we were. So you really do have to know how to word these things for what they are looking for. And I'm not a grant writer, so I need help with it. You know, I know what I want. I know exactly what I want. But sometimes being able to put it in the context that it's going to get it looked at and get it considered, you know, I have to go to somebody else to do that.
Well, the combination of insight, passion, and professionalism is the secret sauce.
And you've got those
successful grant initiatives.
Yeah.
And usually what people do is they hire someone to write it for them, which excludes the passion and the depth of understanding that's necessary to put a baseline together.
Yeah.
And what your daughter's talent is to be able to take that abstract and confine it and confirm it in the appropriate language that resonates with those who are the grant readers.
Right.
And if you can get by the grant readers, you can usually get to the grant facilitators who make the final decision.
Right.
And
so I don't know, you know, now that the city, there has been, you know, the city now clearly does own the Phoenix Center, right?
Right, still owns the Phoenix Center.
So at least all of that, with all of that being, it might be possible to, it would have to be in conjunction with the city to see if we could put that downtown.
Yeah, exactly. And I
would have to.
I think they would support that.
Yeah, I think they would support that. I think that it would be conducive to what needs to take place to put a proper face on the Phoenix Center now that it's going to be here. You have the senior center connection, which we're working on, and you have a park-like extension there that was part of the senior complex. I don't know if that's still the case or not.
I'd sure like to see us do the what's buildings that we were talking about, the where the people can sell things.
Buildings to sell things.
Building to sell.
Like shipping containers.
The shipping containers, because see, once you get the draw, which would be your fountain and your water sprouts, you know, you're guaranteed people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're guaranteed people, and people are going to bring opportunities to make money with, you know, drinks, with food, hot dogs, whatever. You're opening up opportunities for people to make money because you got people down there at the fountain.
Right. You got 6.5 acres.
Yeah, and those shipping containers have been proven to be, because for one thing, it's kind of like the flea market here on on, what
Flea market.
what street is that?
Off of Dixon?
Is that Cesar Chavez?
Yeah.
Flea market? Yeah.
Yep.
The shipping containers are kind of like the flea market in that you don't have to open your store every day.
Right.
So you can have people who will have a shipping container store that really is only open on the days where you have the biggest crowds, maybe
Right.
on the weekends. And that would work. That would be okay. That would be okay.
If
So-
you're successful in bringing tenants into those two towers, you'll have people.
Absolutely. Well, you'll have people and
Every
a
day.
fountain. A fountain would really, a place where people could go out there to the fountain at work, after work
Yeah.
or during at their lunchtime and eat their lunch there by the fountain. Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Yep, you have 1,000 people out there every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and you could have the food court could be outside during the summer months, and then especially with this post-COVID, and they're saying that, you've already seen this shift with restaurants putting outdoor seating
Right.
because of COVID, and they're saying a lot of that is going to stay in
Absolutely.
place. So
Wow.
that would work out fine because people could have someplace inside they could eat, but also you've got a beautiful space there where people could also eat outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The pandemic has accelerated a lot of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is going to stick, and some of it is going to even grow beyond what has been accelerated.
Yeah, I agree.
But certainly eating outside is here to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And just the idea of being outside and
Yep.
being,
Yep.
it's
Have you
kind of
seen-
related to
what
feeling
Karen-
safe.
What Karen has built up the street from us? She's built it right out into the little art theater. Has
Mhm.
has built a place right out into the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
good.
It's
Now
gonna
if
be
we could
hard to
just-
say, focus point.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna center it on it for parking day. We need
Good.
that all throughout the street. It's
Yeah.
like that's
Close it down.
little things
Mhm.
that anything that's small but in alignment with the larger picture. We try to blow it up.
Why don't you try to do something for parking day where you try to work with the city to actually close Saginaw or work with the business community
We've done
to
that.
We've done
see
that.
if you could close it to traffic on that day, and then provide parking there with the parking building there on Huron
Yep.
and the
Yeah.
big parking lot right there. Just shut everything down except for those parking and just let people walk,
We did that one year.
We did that the first year. We took over about 10 spaces the first year. Then the second year we
Second
did
year,
about 20
we
spaces.
took the whole block.
The whole block.
Except
We
for-
did it just guerrilla style. We didn't have any support from the official support from the city, but Kermit attended and supported it. So we didn't get any deep pushback. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we did that, and then this will be our 5th year coming up, and then we ended up getting a lot of heat from the pilot program we did with kids. We kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier, without getting too deep into the politics, but with the kids and the fountain and the Hidden River Park and the design thinking
Mhm.
programming we did, we ended up getting a $56,000 grant for the shipping container.
Mhm.
And this little mock-up that I just posted up here, this was our design concept, and they submitted on our concept, which was not playground equipment. This was social equipment. This was for everybody to use but it would have served youth as well and given them like gardening supplies if they wanted to plant gardens, if they wanted to adopt the park. And they also had a screen so they could show movies but they could run the programming. We got a $56,000 grant and, it turned into the drums that we have over there. And they got classified as playground equipment when who knows what the intentions were, but it just ended up making the whole downtown angry at us because they thought we were trying to upset the marijuana apple cart.
Yeah. That is really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That would be something that the kids run and operate.
Still a good concept.
So it contains all of their stuff that they want available, but then it also functions as a way of them learning about business.
Yeah.
So they
it's nice. I like the stairs up, but what do they do at the top?
That's a stage.
It's like a stage with a pop-up screen. And then that's brought down.
Oh, okay.
The door's open so they can use it as a storage. And then also the windows come down so that they can use that as a space for interaction with the public.
Yeah.
These were all the kids' ideas that they wanted to put in the park. So they'll say, one said bowling, like life-size chess games and little things. Really small, like all little placemaking ideas. They're not crazy ideas, pretty simple.
Okay. Great, because I tell you,
we're still looking for the dollars where they went, because we know that's not $56,000 worth of drums.
Yeah, it's probably not more than 12.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we're working through it.
Working through it.
Well, I think, it works better with City Hall when you work in conjunction with other people that can kind of help move things along at City Hall. We're stronger together. No doubt you guys could do it by yourself, but to connect with some community groups then come in together and do it, and then you have more clout when you have, the more community groups you have with you on that project, then you're going to be in a better position to deal with the City Hall and to work with them and negotiate with them. So
we had 15 or 20 businesses involved.
We had a letter of support from Patrice Waterman.
Yeah, for the city council supported it.
And
we had all kinds of
support. A lot of people supported up front, and the Oakland Family Services, they're not totally grassroots or anything.
OSHA submitted a letter of support. We had all kinds of support. We just hadn't figured out the mayor's intention.
The mayor was. we don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, and we're not too concerned about that. That is something that has to resolve itself. And we're not into politics. We're into doing things.
Well, I agree. I'm not either.
I know that. That's why
we met. What we did when we had the grant with the city, I reached out to the mayor, I think over a course of about 2 months without getting a response. And it took probably into the 3rd month before we got her to agree to start meetings with planning and with DPW, to spend this money. Right. And so we had to meet with them every week. We had Justin McClellan, Justin's second in command, Scott Stewart, myself, the people that we hired to work in the parks. We met with the city every week. And it was quite a process, but we had to do that in order to get,
Sure.
if we hadn't done it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
none of the things that we were able to do would have been done.
Mhm.
Not a one of them.
The PYREC experience, right? The Pontiac
We-
Youth Rec experience.
You and Jim
You
Pardon?
remember the PYREC? Pontiac Youth Recreation?
being on the board,
I'm not on the board.
the advisory committee, you
The
and Jim were
advisory
on?
committee. You remember the advisory committee working with the mayor?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mean,
We know the drill. We were
Yeah.
there. I was the chairman, so I know the drill. So what happened? She went on about her business. And now what happened? There is no business anymore. We're not going to be, we spent $26,000 a month.
yeah, but you know, that was both the council and mayor have to take responsibility, because when you create that kind of a relationship between two departments, you're not going to get anything, because you know, when she first started with the program, the council came in and they got mad with her because she didn't give them some information that they wanted. They cut the salaries down to part-time jobs at the youth center. They did a lot of things that, you know, and once people see that it's confusion, are you gonna send your child to confusion?
No.
No.
Are you gonna send your child in a situation that's confusing? No.
Well, there was nothing
So-
confusing about the mayor's position.
Yeah. Well,
Because I recall the vote, and the vote was not for, the vote was about the changes. But that made no difference because they already had in mind what they wanted to have happen, and they did.
yeah.
But here we are, what, a year or two later. That made no difference because they already had in mind what they wanted to have happen, and they did.
Yeah.
But here we are, what, a year or two later. That made no difference because they already had in mind. Or are you listening?
Oh, nothing. Hello, are we here still? I just looked on Facebook really quick because is it still there?
I don't know. Hello?
Can you hear us still, Katha?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Jim, never mind. Go ahead.
So long story short, we think this presents another opportunity to readdress that in a positive fashion.
To readdress what?
The Pontiac Youth Recreation Center.
Who is going to address it?
Well, they just voted it down
Yeah.
on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up in the air about who's going to address it, but I think as a body of thought, we'll address it. There's a wonderful way in which to reinvent that now is no longer valid.
Well, you know, I didn't, you guys, I commend you for being able to keep up with, you know, with watching those meetings and all that, you know, is going on. But I don't know, you know, I really don't know what they're going to do. They have to keep something in place. And my understanding is that the man doesn't want to rent to them anymore. So either if they, pardon?
That he does not, he's not going to continue to extend the lease.
Yeah. And so
Right.
they are
He wants
either
to
going to
sell,
have
he
to
wants
buy
out.
it or move out is what
They're
I
not going to
understand.
buy it. They moved on Tuesday. They're not it's over. They're not
Okay.
purchasing.
So that's going to uproot our youth program
Correct.
and cause it to have to move now. So now the most immediate thing is, where do you move to? And
Yeah,
see,
and-
all of this could have been, if we had I really think that the mayor, in wanting to utilize that center there at Wisner and renting the place that was already ready to go, and then just leasing other places, where the boys can play basketball and stuff, would have been a better option for us, because you could have focused from day one on where is our permanent youth center going to be.
We agree.
We could have been focusing from day one on coming up with a plan for a permanent.
I think that's what I told the mayor.
Yeah. And of course, but you know, they didn't want that. Oh no, we want our own. We want, you know, and when they found that building, and that building, they said it was updated. That building was not updated. When I went in that building,
had no air conditioning. Had no air conditioning.
The only thing they updated was threw in a few little screens in there. There was no updates.
A school is not a good model for a recreation center. A school is a school. And they ran the recreation center like it was a school. So kids just weren't interested in attending.
Yeah.
They wanted freedom.
Yeah.
They wanted.
So I kind of don't disagree that we probably don't need to buy that, but I'm just, you know.
That's over.
Here we are with no place for those kids to go, because the places they're talking about will take millions of dollars of renovation. What's going to happen to the children while you're renovating? When from day one, you could have been renovating.
Right.
You see, you could have been preparing a permanent place from day one.
I do see, and that's one of the things that we're preparing, is exactly that solution. The solution is in front of us. I can see it from here. And the other option is that it may take place at the US Soccer that was purchased by United Wholesale Mortgage.
I don't know.
I don't either.
They need to really. You can't do anything that's effective with the relationships that they have. You just can't, because there are problems even with that site. It's big, it's huge, it's got parking, but it is not in a central location.
We agree.
And so, you know, it's just, that would be a problem, because you got poor kids. How are they going to get there?
We agree.
Right.
And so, you know, you've got to think about things like that. And for Pontiac, this center, the youth center, should be as centrally located as possible.
We agree. That's why it needs to be downtown.
They may try to, well, downtown is a problem, because parents are not gonna, you know, the homeless.
Up on the Phoenix Center are 2 buildable places.
Yeah.
You could build a skyscraper on them. People don't know that there's 2 buildable pads.
No, that's going to be a no-no, because of the perception of downtown. Not safe, not a place where you would send children, pedophiles sitting up in the library watching porn. Not a good place. The perception, Jim, is not there. You're talking about parents sending children. The perception of downtown is not there.
Well, that's good news to hear that
it's not there.
That's interesting to say.
So, I mean, we're just discussing, we're just talking about it, but I'm saying
we should be thinking about other places then.
You know, Pontiac, the downtown, those folks that work with downtown, you would think they would be further along trying to create a better environment down there. Nobody seems to be. Mike McGinnis tried to do a lot of very positive things down there. Activities and things, but nothing seems to catch on.
They were only they were events, and they were good, but they were one-off events.
Yeah.
Right. Events.
Everything we develop, we try to create a long-term strategy around, like the Hidden River Park, like the Phoenix Center. It is a safe place, but we also, it's not just homeless people down here. You know, there's a lot of building owners, a lot of investment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they need to be convinced to be child friendly. Like
But
the
Monica,
good,
when I'm saying that, I'm saying the perception.
I
Yeah,
understand.
no, we hear
I
what you
know,
said.
I know that there's investment down there, but I'm saying the perception
Mhm.
Yeah,
of
we hear what you
Pontiac
said.
residents is not positive for
We believe
downtown.
you.
I totally hear, I
We
totally
believe you.
hear that. And that's a problem we need to overcome.
Mhm.
And or try somewhere else. But you know, we're still pretty,
We're still
committed to-
adamant that if our town remains vacant, so will our success be vacant.
and without kids
Without
engagement,
kids' engagement. and
you don't have a
building-
downtown.
And building those moments where they recognize that they're a piece of that equation, we don't have much hope for walkable traffic from our citizenry. It's why we don't have anybody downtown. There hasn't been anybody committed to downtown, with the exception of the Phoenix Center in graduation or a marriage or something of that nature that gave you an emotional tie.
That would be great if they would put those graduations at the Phoenix Center. That would be awesome.
There we go.
That would be a great start to changing perceptions
There we
and
go.
getting the Pontiac High School graduation
Yep.
to be at the Phoenix Center, and even all of the other what do you call them, charter schools that have graduations at the
Yep.
Phoenix Center. That would be awesome.
Yep.
That would have a lot go a long way to start reversing that perception.
We've got
know.
to be successful long-term, we've got to establish a reason to be downtown. And there currently are no reasons. That's why there's no one here.
That wouldn't hurt you guys to reach out to superintendent and ask her, would she consider us using the Phoenix Center as a graduation site?
Yep.
That would be, I'd love to hear her answer, because I think that's a possibility.
We'll take it upon ourselves to extend the possibility and report out.
Yes.
Thank you.
We've
Thank you.
And
I would love to hear her response.
We will
And
do
Mike
that.
McGinnis is chairman of the, he is the president of the
President of the
school
board.
board,
Yep.
and he's a very active thinker. So I'd like to hear what he would say about that, how he would respond to
Maybe
that.
we should start there and
And
get
see
him
if he can run
be
it
the
up the
messenger.
flagpole.
Yeah.
He has shown support. I actually have a recording of him showing support of that idea, because we were in a conversation with Dion Bow that she's with Urban Main Services, the consultant that they hired
Mhm.
from National Main Street. Main Street hired a consultant to come here and
Mhm.
analyze the downtown. And I attended her meeting, and we all ended up in a big, knockdown, drag out argument about the Phoenix
Yeah.
Center. It was in 2018.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was in good fun, but you could tell there were people who didn't want to be talking about it in the room. But Mike McGinnis showed support, and we spoke about how the only emotional engagement our community really has with this downtown is having graduated there, or Arts Beats and Eats, whatever. Making that center activated on a full-time, open,
a more holistic citizen
platform, citizen focused platform would be a good thing. And Mike said, hadn't really thought about that, and that's true. We did have our graduations there, so I imagine you would support that.
Be a supporter.
Yeah.
I think it would be good, as we, it's not going to happen overnight, but
Nope.
we have to start somewhere of finding uses for the space. Now that the city has made a decision, let's start finding uses for that space that integrates it into the city and into the, what the people are doing. And I think graduation would be perfect. I think it would be a perfect thing to put the Pontiac, especially since the Phoenix is their emblem. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
it's a good fit.
it's a great fit. And I would love to see you talk to Mike about taking that to the school board
Okay,
and
All right.
seeing if they would approve it, because the school board works very closely with the superintendent. So if the school board brings it up as a topic of discussion, I think certainly the superintendent would go along with that, and we would, well, let's see, what is it, April? Hopefully we would be in time to, but you need to talk to Mike pretty quickly.
yep, we will.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to know what the response was, because that is exciting. That would be one of the most positive things that have happened in the Phoenix Center in a long time. And I think it could reverse the cloud of negativity that has gone into that, all the discussions. There is a cloud of darkness and negativity. And I think that would reverse it. I think that would go a long way to reverse it. It's a great idea.
Well, I think on that note, we have reached the 6:02 moment.
Okay, all right.
We are
I'm with you.
We're ending with an actionable item.
To end the conversation with than Kathalee James.
I know, I love it. And you carried us throughout the whole program. We love it.
Awesome.
We always appreciate your participation in these.
And we're
Okay,
gonna
guys.
follow up, and we'll get the crew in alignment, and I think Rosemary would be glad to join us, okay? And we'll make a couple of hits.
Okay.
Where we got a half hour and we have an agenda and we're getting some work done.
I've got some good video snips I'll take of your engagement with her.
Oh boy, I didn't know you were doing video.
Oh yeah, we got you, girl.
We're gonna put together a little package that she can maybe run with
Yeah,
the
that you can
American
take to some of
American
our-
Rescue
some
Plan.
of our constituents up there at Lansing.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, guys, you
All
take
right.
care.
All
All right,
right,
be
you
safe.
too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.